Hi everyone, this is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and today I'm at the Alliance for Massage Therapy Education Conference. And today I have Gloria Coppola. Hi.
Hey, buddy.
And happy birthday too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm 29 again.
Yeah. Plus a couple.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah. So how'd you get involved in massage then?
Well, actually, I used to be a business administrator for a neurologist, and it was Boss's Day. And at one of the business networking meetings I used to go to promote his business, I met a massage therapist. And I thought, what a nice gift it would be for Boss's Day to give him a massage. And then I thought, well, I'm a boss too, and I never had a massage. So I scheduled a massage for both of us. And while she was giving me my massage, I was like really intrigued with all these things happening in my body. And I kept peeking and opening my eyes. And I went to massage school because of that. The effect of what happened in my session changed my life.
Just at one time.
One time, one person changed my life, and the rest was history.
So what school did you go to?
I went to Health Choices, located outside of Princeton, New Jersey. And way back when, things weren't regulated the way they are today. We had individuals that were passionate about this. They entered a healing profession because it was a calling. Our program was very spiritually based, which at first I thought, ooh, I don't know. But it actually turned out to be a fabulous foundation for me over my life, and actually has come full circle for my work too. The school just closed down this past year, so they were in business for a very long time.
The school I went to too last year, that's when they closed down.
Yeah, and it's so sad that these private owners, you know, that have had the passion for massage are kind of dwindling away because of some of the bigger schools taking over.
Yep, exactly. What makes a good instructor, would you say?
I think a lot of things make a good instructor. I think, one, you do have to have passion, you know, for sharing your gifts, but I think it takes more than that. There's so many skills an instructor needs, and I don't think a lot of instructors out there realize what it takes, because not only do you have to know how to manage a classroom, but you have to be aware of learning disabilities, you need to know how to organize. And so actually I think my background in business management and organization is what helped me be a better instructor before I got into the classroom. Mm-hmm. And then I think you have to be very interactive. I think you have to have a personality that is flexible, besides the knowledge. I mean, we know we need the knowledge, but I think it takes a lot more than that.
Yep. And so many people have said humor too and stuff.
Oh God, you need humor. Because when you go out of the classroom, you really got to laugh about it. I mean, and you know, I mean, there's so many situations that come up. I mean, you might have the really smart student that's academically oriented, and then you have the one that struggles along in life getting through school, maybe barely made it through high school. And then you have those that, you know, everything in their life is just big and loud, you know, and you know what I mean?
Yep.
And so they're very expressive. And you have to know how to maintain that in a classroom where it can overtake everything else. And then you have the real shy, quiet person that never wants to engage. Yep. And then for some reason, there are even those that show up that don't want to be touched. And I don't understand why you go into this profession. And I think that's something that those considering massage career have to understand. You're not only touching bodies, but you should be comfortable with touch.
Yep. How can you recommend massage if you don't get one yourself?
Absolutely.
So,
it's like you got to walk your talk.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And you also owned a school?
I did own a school. It wasn't my intention to own a school. I was actually trying to promote my own practice, and I kept thinking about different venues of how to educate the public. Because way back when, as you keep reminding me, I'm an elder.
Remember, you're only 29, so it's just a couple of years ago.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, when I was 4. You had a very small population that really understood or knew about massage, and if they did, they had the wrong impression about massage. And so I was thinking, how can I educate the public? So I actually called up one of the local adult community schools, and I said, did you ever think of offering like a class on massaging for your family and your partners and things like that, just some basic things? And they're like, no, what a great idea. So I thought we'd get a small, intimate group of people that I could show you a few little tricks of the trade to go home and tell your show on your partners. 60-something people showed up.
Oh.
And Ryan, I never sat and taught a class of 60-something people. I mean, I trained individuals in business, but small groups.
Yep.
So they put me in the school cafeteria, no massage tables. And I'm thinking, and it was going to be like, I think 6 or 8 weeks for a couple hours.
Oh.
And I'm like, how do I do this in a massage cafeteria with 60 people? And I took a nice deep breath. My instructors taught me how to breathe,
Yep.
which has gotten me through a lot. And I thought, well, what do I love about this? What makes me feel good? And I thought about that first massage again. And I made it fun. I made it a lot of fun for people because I knew they didn't want to learn the academics of it. They weren't interested in like every little technique. They just wanted to be nurtured and feel good. And so after the training, I had several individuals come up to me and said, well, where do I go to massage school? Well, back in those days, there were very few massage schools. And I had to travel almost an hour and a half every week.
Oh,
I mean, 3 nights a week
yeah.
for my
Yeah.
working full-time, single mom, driving an hour and a half
Oh.
every ride. Yeah, being home at midnight and then starting work in the morning. So I had some, people come up to me and I was referring them out to these different schools. Well, one of the young ladies that was interested in massage, her aunt was in that class, and her aunt was a very successful entrepreneur. And she was about 6'3". And she came up to me and she says, no, you will teach my daughter, my niece. And I said, no, I don't have a school, I don't have this, I don't have that. And she said, yes, you will. And I says, well, I've never taught before. And she says, you just did. You successfully taught a class. So back in those days, you could apprentice people. And I took these 3 young ladies into my private practice, and we apprenticed. And I realized there were certain components of things that I didn't feel qualified for. So I called out to the universe and said, I need an anatomy instructor. Well, lo and behold, someone called up and said, hey, I'm a fitness trainer, an exercise physiologist. I'm all these things. I teach anatomy in the school. I'd like to take massage. I don't have the money. Would you do a trade? I had my anatomy instructor for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So it unfolded because the universe put me in the right position, but I learned a lot of lessons about how to teach because it was very different than teaching the way I was used to. And because it was hands-on, I heard one of our colleagues at the conference talk about having a class to teach teachers how to touch. Mm-hmm. And so I learned over the years through trial and error a lot of the things that were necessary in our profession. And after apprenticing for a few times, I received a phone call from the Department of Education, and they said, we heard you have a massage school, and I didn't have a school. So they said, oh, you're teaching only a few people, it was under 4 people. And I said, yes. They said, oh, well, then you're fine. And I said, well, wait a minute, tell me more. So they sent me the packet, and lo and behold, we went through the process, and we became a Department of Education approved school, which was something new, because even when I went years ago, they didn't have that. So one thing led to another. Before we knew it, we were very successful, and it kept growing, and for years it was like one of the #1 schools in the state of New Jersey. So it was a great ride.
Yep. And how'd you get involved into continuing education then?
When my school shut down, I thought I was never going to teach again. And I had a lot of individuals again come up to me and say, you need to be teaching. And so I remember that lady who told me opportunity's knocking. She literally pinned me up against the wall, by the way. So I realized, well, I am being called back into this. Opportunity is knocking. What do I feel I want to contribute now? And so I started looking into what classes would I be able to teach the best, what the students like, and then that just unfolded.
Yep. And then you also teach in Hawaii on a regular basis.
I teach in Hawaii as well, the Hawaiian Healing Arts.
And you're even going overseas next year, right?
England and France.
Yep.
So it's growing, and I love it. I'm always learning, and that's the key. I don't think as an instructor I ever stop learning. I keep taking classes all the time, not only in bodywork techniques, but even in teaching techniques and communication skills.
Yep. And some instructors and CE providers here said they haven't taken CE classes in many years, and they're just amazed because it just brings that flair back to them and stuff. And
see, and
that
for
spark.
Me, I have to go to school.
Yeah.
I'm an eternal student, and I will get tremendously bored if I'm not taking some continuing education. So I don't personally understand that when people aren't out there.
And they said they're
learning.
just so wrapped up in trying to help everybody else out. They forget about themselves. That's a problem.
No, I
Yeah.
think, and that's what I think makes a really good instructor too, is
Yeah.
that if we keep going and we get inspired by our colleagues,
Yeah.
then it gives us a little more juice to keep going. And there's always something to learn.
Yep. And why did you decide to become a member of the Lions then?
Because I was curious. I was
Yeah.
curious what's going on. I know our industry needs some kind of organization, and we've been trying to do it for a lot of years. It hasn't been successful. You know, everybody's doing something different. So I was curious. I wanted to know, what's that Rick Rosen guy up to?
Yeah.
And I've actually been pleasantly pleased with what happened here these last few days. It's been wonderful, number one, to meet all our colleagues. Great to share opinions and ideas and see that most of us are actually on the same page about, especially raising the standards. A little bit of things, you know, that we've got to come together on, especially with the CE providers.
Yeah.
But I think overall it was a fabulous conference, and I think all of you out there that are in the industry really need to come over and join us and speak up, you know, give your ideas and suggestions, because you're part of this, you know, of where the future of this industry is going.
Yep. And what's the best way for people to get a hold of you then?
They can visit my website at massageproce.com, and my email is also massageproce@gmail.com.
Okay. Always a pleasure. Thanks,
Thanks,
Nerdette. Yeah.
Yes, I'm the nerd.
Yeah.